It was not based on money.
Why did I do that? I did that because I was paid well in that particular school.
I don't understand why it is like that generally and globally, that a lot of teachers are not well paid.
Hi, welcome to the Kingdom podcast. And it's been such a phenomenal time every time we come to the studio here just to talk about real life issues that have to do with marketplace, municipality, and everything that can transform our nation. And it's been such a privilege serving us. And I'm looking forward to a phenomenal conversation today also. So I want you to ensure that you speak to everybody around you, tell them to share this, connect, and get notified early, because this is just going to be a blessing to our world. And guess what? Today, for the second time, I think this is the first person that we're bringing twice on this podcast show. And the reason is because content, well, there's so much she wants to pour out, she wants to say. But this time around, we're going to be speaking a lot around our area of passion, one of our area of passions, which is on education, which she's a head of school. And I want to introduce to you again for the second time, Ronke Posh.
Hey, thank you for inviting me again. Thank you.
Excited to be here. You are the head of school. Tell us about what you do in education.
I just teach. That's what I teach. So I run a preschool primary, and we have a good time, an amazing time. We try to do things in a pretty non-conventional way. I do teacher training. I do consultancy for schools. I write books. I just do anything that is a lot on the value chain of education. So I try to make education look good. I try to make teachers believe in themselves. I have a program I call Mindset Makeover, because the typical teacher struggles with self-esteem, struggles with confidence. So I spent the last decade or more trying to get teachers to know that they are more than they think that they are. And because a lot of them are interfacing with children that have a lot of confidence. And in one way or the other, they're either robbing those children of their confidence or something is just happening in the classroom.
Yeah.
So that energy has to match. And teachers, I don't believe it should say that they are just teachers. Someone that is transforming the life of another child is not just.
Wow.
That four-letter word is not good enough for a teacher.
Wow. All right. So I'm really excited about this particular talk today, because personally, education is a major part of me. I started from the classroom, and from the classroom, I moved to the place of teacher training. So then from teacher training, I moved to the place of policy, which I'm still serving till now, and at a greater intersect, particularly for Africa. Now, I remember a scenario I had many years ago in the classroom. I got into the class, and a new school rather. I was just being transferred into a new school. So as I stepped into the school, I mean, every time students pass you by, or they just pass by you, as the case may be, you find out that they courtesy. They have to greet you. They have to say hello, and then everybody passed saying hello, and only one person looked at me with a wonton neck, taking our chewing gum, and she walks past me, not saying a word. And I asked people, who is that girl? What's wrong with her? And everybody just says to me, hey, sir, just leave him alone. Leave her alone, rather. If you want to have a good time in this school, focus on the good. So when they told me focus on the good, that was a great flag for me to say, that's who I am to focus on. So guess what? I asked who her best friend was. She was in year 12 at that time, year 12 blue. I was in year 12 green. And I said to the best friend, come and tell me, who is she? What does she like to do? So they told me where she came from, an interesting background. Her parents are abroad. They brought her to Nigeria to learn culture and common sense, and the fact that she loves to listen to Beyonce's song, and that was it. I was like, wow, that is good. So for the first time in my life, Ronke, but you won't believe that I wasn't listening to Beyonce. She's not the kind of person I listen to. I mean, so I had to go listen to Beyonce's song, and I learned about 12 tracks. I learned the recent ones. So one day she was on break, and she was passing by. I put on my laptop, and I ensured that the speaker was up. So while she passed, she heard the song, She took 3 steps backward. She said, "Who is playing my kind of song?" I said, "Me." She said, "Really?" Then she walks away. The next day, she was passing, and I was playing another song again. And guess what? She was like, "Why are you playing my song?" I said, "That's my best song. That's my best artist." The girl said, "Really?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Wow, you listen to Beyonce?" I said, "All our songs." I wasn't telling the truth. She said, "You're my kind of teacher." Then she took a chair, she sat down. "Why do you like Beyonce?" Then we began to talk. She wasn't going to greet me, she wasn't going to talk to me, but now she sat with me, she's talking to me. Then her best friend had told me before that her parents lived abroad and she was brought here to learn culture and learn common sense. And she was angry with that. And guess what she did? She wanted to be expelled at all costs. So when people will jump the fence when other teachers will not see them, guess what? She would jump when you can see her. And once she's caught, she will say to the principal, "What do you do to people that get caught?" "Expulsion. Please expel me." So she literally begged to be expelled. And when the school understood that that was the problem, then they kept her. And they said, "No, you're not going to be expelled." And she was really, really angry. And guess what? She was on a C at that time before she wrote her IGCSE. No, she was on a D before she wrote her IGCSE. I spent a lot of time, probably about 6 months with this lady. I call her Lady now. Now she did her exam. She had a B in IGCSE. Her parents were shocked that she could have a B in the 4 subjects I took her. And today, I think she's a manager in Amazon now, and she's doing really, really great. Part of the things I want to talk about is, why did I do that? I did that because I was paid well in that particular school. A teacher who is not paid well and a teacher who is burnt out cannot raise a brilliant child. What do you think about that?
So first of all, I used retold the story that recounts. You reminded me of my dad because, and I said, "Oh, I followed the Prof Akinpelu for too long."
Oh, Jesus.
Because I know that story so well. I was pretending as if I never heard it before.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. You should.
Are you getting old?
Antimorphism.
I said, I follow this man too much. I know all the stories now. So yeah, that's a good one. That's what you did. What you did was as it should be. And oftentimes we cannot be paid enough for what we do. So sometimes I don't know how much you were paid, but whatever the amount is, you see, money is relative.
Yeah.
I don't think you did it for money. I don't think you did it because of the salary that you were paid. I think you did it because you wanted to see the transformation in the child. Yeah. You saw that there was an issue and you knew that there was something that you could do about it. You extended yourself. Yeah. To get the tracks, to make sure that, and I know the story more than this, I know all the issues around and everything. Yeah. So it's not driven by money. Money can't buy that service. Because you would have finished at work, gone home, tired, no matter how much you were paid, you still have tired, you have your family to attend to, you have your own personal life to attend to, but you still had that child in mind. So that is an intentional teacher. That is someone that likes the job. That's somebody that loves the job. That is someone that cares about the children. How many of those kind of teachers do we have these days? Now, may his soul rest in peace. My daughter had a similar teacher. We buried him on Friday.
Oh, wow.
He was a tutor for 5 good years, Mr. Kola Tomiolawo. And we just literally buried him. He had some issues after post-surgery. Wow. And my daughter would not have survived school without that man. There were times when we even were thinking, okay, let's just remove this girl from this school. This will allow us so much. But he said, "Don't worry. I'm here. Daddy's mom, trust me. I'm here." He was like a guardian angel. It was not based on money. It was not a money thing. Yeah. And he was very intentional, not just with my daughter, but with so many, because when we did the tributes on the Wednesday before, there were so many parents from the school. So many parents. I've not seen anything like that. I've not even heard anything like that. Wow. It wasn't about the school. It was about the individual. Wow. It wasn't about his salary. It was him loving. He had an infectious spirit. Wow. So when you see that teachers extend themselves like that, then you know that they have a love of the job. Yes, money is important, don't get me wrong. But what we do genuinely, I don't understand why it is like that generally and globally. Generally and globally, not absolutely.
Wow.
That a lot of teachers are not well paid. I don't know why it's like that. I know it's not like that in Finland. I know it's not like that in China and places like that. But there, when somebody, even to teach some of the names that people give their children these days, you will hear one very long name. And it's a human being that will teach your child how to spell that name plus middle name plus surname. And then you want to pay what? We can't pay teachers enough.
Yeah.
That's just the summary of it.
You can't pay them enough. It's not the reason why we should not make an attempt to get them a bit comfortable.
Of course.
So if you look at the problems we have in Africa, particularly in Nigeria, our teachers are not well paid.
I don't think that's where the core is of the problem is. The core of the problem in our own Nigeria. There was a time when, and it's still happening, the poorest of the poorest academically are the ones that are pushed into education. They already have the stereotype that they're not good enough. They're just one grade above domestic workers. So they want to pay them like those domestic workers. They want to treat them like those domestic workers. The mindset, I've talked about the weaponization of ignorance. I believe that it's intentional. They do not want our youth to be bright. They do not want our youth to be able to challenge status quo. They don't want them to problem solve. They don't want them to think critically. They don't want them to be able to use their brains and their mind. So for lack of, I have better words, but intentionally I'm saying that a lot of the rejects are the ones that are pushed into education. They already believe, even parents, when their children are sitting at home looking for a job, they will say, oh, the Lord teaches you have your income. Go and teach until you find something to do. It's not seen as a profession that comes with dignity, that comes with pride. So as long as we continue to look at it like that, we'll continue to pay for it like that.
But there are no model teachers.
I'm a model teacher.
There are no model teachers.
I'm a model teacher.
You're a model founder.
I'm a model teacher. I teach in the classroom.
Okay, you teach in the classroom.
I teach in the classroom. I do my presentations. I do everything. I stay in the classroom.
Do you know where this thing started from? People really wanted to study law. They wanted to study engineering. They wanted to study bigger courses because we've been told that that's what we should become. Now you wrote JAMB. I wrote JAMB a few times, and I couldn't get the cutoff mark for medicine. In fact, when I started studying medicine, they first gave me CBG, what I call cell biology and genetics. Then at part 2, crossed over to medicine, which I did not finish later, then went back to study engineering, as the case may be. People who could not get those cutoff marks, it was a dumping ground to say education is available for you. So that's why you hear them say, they give me.
They give.
How many people became teachers by passion?
Voluntarily.
Voluntarily. Why? Why would they even be teachers voluntarily?
I'm giving an example of a girl that had a first class. Was dragged online on one of these blogs because she decided to be a teacher. They were dragging her because she decided to be a teacher. So who would you rather teach your child? An Olodo uprising or a genius? So we're not really thinking about it. We want to build capacity. We want to build a nation with people that are struggling academically, with people that are struggling just generally. Those are the people we want in the classroom. Teachers that can't do 5 times 7, teachers that can't spell Tuesday, teachers that are just struggling with mental maths, struggling to comprehend, struggling with everything. They're in the classroom. You find that you bring them to the schools, you have to retrain and be on top of. It's a challenge. It's a disaster. We are sitting on a gunpowder that is ready to explode right now in Nigeria, but we don't know. And there's no school that is affected. People think I'm paying 10 billion here, so my child is okay. No. As long as you are pulling from the same pool, as long as it's this Nigeria you are bringing your teachers from, wala wambe. And it's not even only Nigeria, it's also global. We see what literacy levels are like. People are reading below grade level in different schools. They're spelling below grade level. It's everywhere. We tell them to read certain words. They can't read it. They can't spell silhouette. They can't. So it's not even, it's just that it's particularly bad in Nigeria.
So whose fault is that?
Whose fault is that? Everybody that has ever had anything to do with leadership in education, it's their fault. Everybody that said the cutoff point should be 100 points for teachers is their fault. Anyone that says that teachers deserve to be paid 30,000 naira, it's their fault. Anyone that looks down on a teacher, is their fault.
Who are these people?
You tell me. It's the society. I don't want to say it's only this category of people. It's you and I. It's everybody.
I don't pay teachers.
It's everybody. But you might have said, you might not pay teachers, but you might have said that somebody should go and teach instead of sitting at home doing nothing.
Maybe not. If I've never said it, who are the people who are responsible for this?
Society is, because it's not a pocket of people, like I said.
I mean, but
parents do it.
But
leaders
do
it.
Stakeholders. There are stakeholders responsible for that.
We can say stakeholders. There are people that are, yes, but the way that it's been stereotyped, the way that people look at teachers, the perception of a teacher, when you think about a teacher, they say their reward is in heaven. They don't believe that they deserve a lot. You know, one of the struggles and challenges I had when I came to Nigeria was because I was trying to change the mindset of many teachers, not only teachers, even school leaders. To the point that when I write some of my posts, I would have school leaders saying, because of your post, that I started driving my car. Because I know that when I go on holiday, they will judge me. They will say, and I said, are you actually delivering the service? If you're delivering the service, then why should you feel bad spending the money that you are, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But because they are often judged. Educators are often judged by parents. They don't believe that they should have. So they want to go on holidays and enjoy themselves. They want to ride the nice cars. They want to wear the clothes, but you don't want the teacher to do that. Not Ronke, not me. Because a lot of people also believe that it's hungry people that start schools. So oftentimes when you see that somebody is, you know, very comfortable as an educator, they struggle. When I tell people that I'm a teacher, they say, no, you're not a teacher. You're not a teacher. They start arguing with me. I said, is it because I'm not smelling? Is it because I don't smell and my shoes are not worn out? If my shoes were worn out, perhaps you would believe me that I'm a teacher. When they tag people online, when they see that coat and thin tie and suit and all those rubbish, they will say, oh, this must be my accountant teacher in Kinekon. Or one horrible wig, they'll say, oh, that must be the maths teacher of something. So that stereotype is there. So that's why I don't want to say it's only stakeholders in the government and everything. It's society. It's even the children themselves. If you ask them, do you want to be like a teacher? God forbid. If I ask you, do you want a child to be a teacher? You will say, God forbid.
No, I won't say so.
That's because of your own enlightenment.
I was a teacher, and I can encourage them to be teachers.
So a lot of them,
because when I was a teacher, I dressed really well. My paycheck did not determine how I appeared. I just had 2 suits, but I took care of the suits well. I wore basically white shirts. And you know, white shirt can go with any color of tie. And how I appeared, the children thought that I was as rich as their parents. And they respected me. And that takes me to the next question. It is true that the problems are there.
As rich as their parents. That's another conversation.
Relative. But look at it.
Because it's not every parent that is rich.
I rebranded myself.
But that's it. I just have to trace it.
Okay, we can come back.
Yeah, a lot of people always assume that because we're teaching in a particular school and this is the.
No, if you could afford the school that I was in.
But could they all afford it?
Except the person is on scholarship or something. But 90% of them pay their school fees.
But how did they pay it?
They use their money to pay.
How do you know? Did you check their bank account?
All I know is that they pay school fees.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
They pay school fees.
So it's not everybody that is in a big school can afford the big school.
But at least 60% of them.
We can't do the maths. You know, we have to see the data to analyze it.
No,
but my point has been
because truly, I knew as a class teacher, I knew the jobs of all the parents of the school. I can categorically tell you that about over 60% of them could pay their school fees.
Okay. So that we don't digress too much. You get my point.
So how can teachers, it is true that the problems are there. How do we rebrand? How can a teacher, so it is true that, teachers believe that, their stuff is in heaven. They told me that and I said, no. I told myself things like, I will get my reward here.
Yeah, right here.
I trained students. If you know what my students did for me when they graduated, you'll be shocked. They went to school abroad, they came back. When they came back, I'd gotten 2 jobs from people who went to school. My former office was designed by a child who went to Italy to study architecture and came back to redesign my office. How can teachers rebrand in the midst of all this problem, in the midst of all the stakeholders not doing what they should do, as the case may be? How can they rebrand, and how can they model themselves in this practice?
It starts with the mind.
Yeah.
It's a mindset issue. Many teachers I've met are already defeated. Just defeatist mindset. Just looking at them, they're looking down, shoulders down, just poor me, poor teacher, poor. You are more than that.
Come on.
They need to understand that, dear teacher, you are more than that.
Come on.
Work on your esteem, work on your confidence. It's not the money, like he said. A little deodorant, a little lip gloss, brush your hair. One pair of shoes will work. Make sure your socks are clean. You know, those little things. Start believing in yourself. Walk with your shoulders up. Go into that environment and make a difference. You find that you are to be respected. A lot of teachers, when they see a parent, they're already bowing down. Hey, good afternoon, madam. You know, stop being that glorified house help. That's not who you are. Nobody's asking you that you should be disrespectful. No, you don't have to be disrespectful. But you should be able to hold your own space. Everything a parent says is not correct.
Yeah.
You can let them know politely. You can let them know. But the minute that you are collecting bribe from them, you are collecting Ankara from them, 2K, 3K, you are forcing yourself to go and do lesson in their house so that they can give you jollof rice for lunch and stuff like that. You're selling yourself cheap. There's some things that you should not do as a teacher. There's some things that you should not do as a teacher, especially collecting all those little, you know, recharge card. I've heard people collecting recharge card. Recharge, you know what I'm saying?
From who?
From parents.
They
You know,
they don't have.
they don't have one.
They don't have credit on their phone.
That's not how to rebrand then. You ask the question. You're going to have to do without it until you can afford it. Or find it from somewhere else.
How would the child even respect you?
How would the child? You know, we have teachers that eat the chicken of the children in the classroom. We have teachers that will be signaling, it's my birthday. It's my birthday in October.
It's just for them to know ahead.
Yeah, you know ahead and bring, you know what I'm saying? It's a beggarly culture. All those little things, they matter. They matter. Hold your, you see what, you will do so well that you will be so well rewarded. I like to give examples sometimes. Like, I teach, but I teach any class.
Yeah.
So I can decide that this term I'm teaching this class English, or I'm teaching, you know, I just teach.
Yeah.
And I have times where I will get into a classroom, the way that the children respond to me, or when they see me walking down the corridor or something, they're like, oh, Miss Ronke, I want to tell you this, I want to tell that. Have you told your class teacher? There's a way that you will relate with them. The parents will know. I've had parents drop millions for me, just giving me. I did not beg them. I did not ask them. I'm not even the class teacher.
They drop millions with
Yes.
you. And you've not shared this testimony
I don't
with
need
me
to.
before.
I've literally,
You've not even
and I
sent-
keep telling
you've
them,
not even sent
and when it
tithe to me.
happens, I tell my teachers. When it happens, I tell them that, you see, we're just having they're just looking for a way to, because my account number is not available anyway. If you get into the school account, it's going to Omarasi Bemi. So I always let them know when things like that happen, because I let them know that there's a way that you will be with somebody's child. You want to give them the world.
Yeah.
Just like Mr. Tomilawo, when I talked about Mr. Tomilawo, he was my daughter's teacher. God bless him, his family, his 3 sons, you know. Even now in death, there's nothing I don't want to do for his family. I can't leave them. He's gone. But I cannot close my eyes. I went to travel. I'm calling the wife, are you okay? I'm checking on the children. And I believe this is how it's going to be forever.
Yeah.
Because of the impact he had on my child. So that's why I keep saying that you can't pay a teacher enough. I cannot pay him enough. There's a way that you would help somebody mold their child, bring out the best in that child. And even the parents, they will know that, Shirley, no, you deserve this. They'll even tell you that this is a token. Countless times. Countless times. You just see a transfer, it will be my name on it. Please tell madam that I did this. Just tell madam. Because and I'm not the class teacher. I keep telling the teachers in the school, I am not the class teacher. There's something that I'm doing. There is something that I'm doing that they're saying. Do it.
Well, jokes apart, I mean, you should send some of those monies to me. Let's share the money.
Okay.
All right, so.
No
Okay. So back to what we're saying here. Let's talk about decolonizing education.
Yeah.
Do you think that the foreign education we're receiving in Nigeria, do you think we're preparing our children for another country's economy?
That's just what it is. Are we preparing our children for Nigeria? No. Today I saw, when I was on a break, I saw a post on one of these blogs. It was P Square. And he's in Paris or somewhere. Anyway, it's French-speaking country he is. I think they're watching football. And he said he was going to move his children there, and he's so proud of how his children are speaking French, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And somebody said, I hope they can speak Igbo. Ijabade. Shakabula. Everybody brought their guns out. He said, what is Igbo going to do for my children? What is Igbo going to do? You know what I'm saying? All those sort of things that, you know. And I paused and thought, okay, is it P Square talking? I don't really know all their songs. I love a lot of their songs when I was growing up, but I'm sure a lot of their songs have Igbo in it. I think so.
If you?
I think so. I know that Davido's songs have Yoruba inside, Wizkid, a lot of these people, Tiwa Savage and the likes, they have Nigerian Kini inside it. But when our children speak Yoruba in the class, we say they're speaking vernacular. The schools are generally institutions that are colonizing and recolonizing our children. We are teaching our children about Queen Elizabeth. They don't know about Queen Amina. They know everything about British history, but they don't know Wole Soyinka. They don't know Chimamanda. They just know everything that is Western. But how are we preparing them? How do you prepare a child for education in their own country? You tell them what is under where they stand, what is above where they stand, and what is around where they stand. But no, we're teaching them what is miles and miles and miles away. Things that they can't relate with. They can't relate with it so much that we now tell them, let's go on excursion to Italy. That's how much you want them to know about another land.
That sounds really nice. Do you want them to go to Kaduna?
You don't, yes, they're bound. Yes, we know that there are places that can be dangerous in Nigeria, but there are still places that they can go and learn safely in Nigeria. Even the Italy that you're going to, there are still dangerous places there. So my point is, what are we teaching? How are the schools colonizing our children? Through his lack of history. Even when they teach the history, it's not enough to keep them rooted and keep them wanting to know the things that they should be proud of. The first universities, the first astronauts. Stop telling them that Christianity came from the Western world. They don't know their history at all. Even I didn't know my history until in my adult age, because I didn't do history. History is to be mandatory. I didn't have the option of doing history throughout my whole time in school. Anything I know about history, I learned it as an adult.
Wow.
And we have children that don't know anything about their history. They don't know anything about their forefathers. And that's why they make some of the decisions that they make. And that's why that proximity to whiteness is such a thing for them. The goal is to be white. The goal is to be anything like white. The minute they have an element of success, I must have a white girlfriend.
It is right.
I must have a white.
If it's white, then it's right.
It's white. It is right. So you find that we are born into this conditioning. We are born into wanting to wear weave on.
So
we are born into so many of this. We don't want to speak for them. It's aspirational to just do anything that seems as if it is white.
Do you think the parents, in an attempt to making their children international students, that's when they lost it?
I think they even lose it before that time. They lose it even before that time. I've had inquiries where people will say, please, do you have Oyinbo children in your school?
Or to attend your school?
Yeah. They will say, do you have your Oyinbo children? That's what they will say. That's the criteria.
Do you have Oyinbo children?
And the reason,
do you have Oyinbo
because
children?
of that question, I don't answer it anymore. At least not publicly. Not publicly. Because there are different reasons why you might want Oyinbo in the class. There are different reasons. But it's often the superficial reasons that we get.
For status?
Yes. That my child has Oyinbo friends.
Don't look for someone Chinese.
You know, I've been to, when I was still trying to come back to Nigeria, I went to quite a number of schools. I saw some of the teachers in some of the schools. They would say the school is French speaking. And you'll find that for someone like me that lived in the UK, there's discrimination everywhere in every country. You will see that the dregs, you know, those ones that don't have good teeth, but speak poorly and all those sort of things, you come to Nigeria and find them in the classroom. When I wanted to open the school, I was told that if you want your school to blow, just get Oyinbo. Just any Oyinbo, just put the person there. As long as Oyinbo, people will come. And that is still the mindset. I've had educators tell me that they've been working in schools for 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years. And they keep bringing expatriates, put them in apartments, but they are the ones training those expatriates, and they are getting a fraction of what those people are earning. My question to them is, why are you still there? It's still a thing of the mind.
Yeah.
Because you still believe they deserve it more than you do.
Yeah.
So you don't go and say, no, I can't take this. I can't be training somebody and I'm getting less than the person. But you believe you deserve that bigger salary. You believe you deserve less than just by virtue of the color of your skin. So we're not being born to be confident in who we are. We have been born into, oh, you are just a little lower than the Oyinbo person. So that post-traumatic slave syndrome is still inexistent. Unconsciously in many people, they don't know. You know, even our standards of beauty. I was telling somebody not just here, when I was young, unconsciously, it was always said to me, Oyinbo pepe, Oyinbo pepe. Because what? Oyinbo is the beauty standard. Oyinbo is the beauty standard. So we have to teach our children how to do their hair. We have to teach them. We say, oh, our hair is unkept, it's not nice, it's too hard, it's 4C. But who actually educated you about your hair? Nobody. Once they enter secondary school and they're graduating, you just see all the girls, they will line up in wigs. That's the next thing. That is the point. That's the transition. That is to say goodbye to ever looking African. That point in secondary school. Because nobody has taken that time to say, spray your hair with water and oil. Use some shea butter. You don't need to use those tight combs to comb your hair. It doesn't belong to a black woman. It's an Eurocentric standard. You're forcing your hair to look like that of a white woman. You're saying, look how long my hair is. Our hair is not long down. This is, look how long my hair is. Our hair worships God. Our hair it's not longer like this. It's not designed to come down. We don't know so much, just simple things. We don't know that this crown, our slave masters' wives were so jealous because we had so many styles and their husbands used to abuse a lot of the slaves. And abuse is even a small word because they used to rape a lot of them. And that's why we have a lot of this mixed race, so many things happening. They were so jealous that their wives started to cut our hair. They will cut our hair and put our hair in their cushions and their mattresses. And then when we plait all these beautiful styles, they were actually maps for us to escape from where we were hidden. And so oftentimes we will plait our shuku and we will put seeds inside so that when we get to wherever it is we want to go, we can plant those seeds.
Yeah.
Powerful history belongs to our hair. But what do? We put it in cornrows, we cover it and then put an European wig on it and say it is 2 million and say that it has more value than the organic and the natural hair that God has given to you. You say it takes so long to take care of my hair, whereas you use 1 hour, 90 minutes to actually powder your face, but you cannot take 20 minutes to look after the glory of God.
Wow.
Okay, you want to wear your wigs. Why don't you wear a wig that is African?
Wow, parents, I think that's a lot for us to think about. Not just the school now, but parents. I mean, she just said something very powerful about the hair of the children, and at the point where we lose or disconnect from our African heritage, particularly when it comes to our hair. And remember, it started with the mind, and that's a very, very powerful one, very powerful one. So, Ronke, Posh, I remember something happened to me. A bank chief was a parent, walked into the school and requested to see me and spoke to me rudely. We had a policy in the school to say the customers are right, you can't talk to parents anyhow. But the person spoke to me rudely. I said I would take it up with the head of school, but before I took it up, I responded to the person and said, you cannot call me that. And I said, who are you? You know, the person's face is right in my eyes now. Who are you to tell me what to say to you? Who do you think you are? You want me to make your child an A student and you undervalue me.
Absolutely. That's what happens in the classroom. You see them, they will even take...
What can parents do better?
Their cameras and they are doing videos.
Yeah.
You know? So number one, schools have to know who they are. You see, everybody's not your customer. I keep telling people. I know that a lot of people are doing it for the money, yes, the numbers, but everybody is not. your customer. Hungry people must not open schools. Hungry people don't belong in schools. And when I say hungry, poverty is of the mind, it's not of the pocket. It starts in the mind. You must have values and you must be able to stand by your teachers. You must know what is a no-no, what is unacceptable in our school. You cannot speak to our teachers in this manner, no matter who you are. Yeah. But the thing is, a lot of schools will not stand by their teachers. There was a viral case the other day where a mother came, the father first of all slapped the teacher, the mother joined, slapped the teacher, and school management were there. How did you allow that to happen?
They did nothing?
They did nothing.
Wow.
They did nothing. It shouldn't have even been a scenario where anybody can even hit one another. So school management really need to understand that they themselves, you have to take pride in your teachers. Nobody should be rude to anybody. Teachers should not be rude to parents, and parents must not be rude to teachers. It's a mutual thing. But in events where you have a situation like that, if it's the parent that has to go, so be it, irrespective of who that parent is. I've had parents come to our school with security and say, open the gates, open this, that one, and we don't open gates for strangers in our school. Wow. I'm not going to prove my children here, who do you know who I am, blah, blah, blah. And we will respect you and politely tell you that. Even if we don't open our gates. If a child is here, would you want us to open the door to strangers? Why are you coming to a primary school, preschool, with guns and security and soldier? But a lot of schools, we open the doors to them. I've seen it happen where you see people with security, with guns at different kinds of events. So schools themselves are part of the colonization of our children. Schools themselves are part of the people that are destroying our children. You will do a great job for many, many years with these children in secondary schools, particularly secondary schools. When their prom comes, you turn their prom to clubs. They wear rubbish to schools. Prom should be cancelled in Nigeria. I honestly believe that it should now be...
In Nigeria?
With what I'm seeing, I don't really see what... You see the one that's happening in Nigeria now? Where they are now naked, where they have strippers, where it has turned to a club, and the children are touching one another's private parts. I posted it on my page. I posted it, so it's not a hearsay. Like, how can a boy be touching a girl's breasts? Do you understand? Secondary school, publicly. And who are the parents? I don't be your mother. You know what I'm saying? Who is your mother? You know, when we did anything naughty, because a lot of people say, didn't you do that as a no. When we did, let's assume we did. We will not record it and post it. We feared our parents to the point that if we did anything, it must be something that they cannot catch us doing.
They can never hear.
Even till now, they will not know. But this one is so audacious, and that is because they do not have any regard for their parents. Because if you have a regard for somebody, there's no way that you will allow that happen, knowing that it will go on social media. Anybody can show your parents. So a lot of is happening with parenting, but the schools themselves are allowing too much. Parents are dictating, a lot of parents with wrong values are dictating a lot to the schools, and they're allowing anything to happen. You know, they're coming to spray dollars in school. Hello, why? Why? What do they need that for?
Wow.
What do they need money, flower money, or whatever they call it, flower bouquet? What do they need it for in schools?
Let's talk reforms.
Let's talk reforms.
If you are given an opportunity to lead the education sector of this country, what are the things you will change?
There's so many things that are going to change. It's going to change. So many will change. So many things will change. You see, again, it will start with the mind. You see, we have to do something about the mind of the teachers, our mind of our educators. So perhaps I'll get some psychologists in place. You know, I have a team of people that, if you tell me to do it right now, I have them. You are one of them, and you know that. We need a team of people to, first of all, get into the mind of the typical educator in Nigeria. No more 100 points are coming to come and teach us in our classroom. No. Our children must know history. They must know their identity. They must know who they are. Because when they get to this global stage, they still bow down. Do you know that?
Wow.
They still bow down at global stage. When they go for big contracts, you see even officials, when you see all these big things happening in the press, just observe the Africans that are there. Just observe. You know, even churches they're guilty of all these things, you know, all this being so subservient and this culture that we have, you know. You want a typical African to hold their shoulders up high. Yes, we have great Nigerians. We've got amazing Nigerians. We must know who we are as Africans. We must know what we have done, what we have achieved as Africans. It's very, very important. Because if you don't know your identity, you don't know who you are, then you are just as, you're gone with the wind. You are just like the wind. There's no roots, there's no nothing. And I will always promote and always advocate for this history. Because no matter who you are, no matter where you go, as an African, as a Nigerian, you will never be white. Bleach, wear wig, do anything. You will nothing will make you white. And it's enough. It's enough for you to be a black person. It's enough. But you see that a lot of us, we are growing up to want to be white. You might know the story of Nolan Wells, a boy that was allegedly killed by some white boys. After that, this was in June, we've had at least 4 cases of black boys still being murdered, allegedly, by white boys. But the typical Nigerian, that is their goal, that is their aspiration. That is their aspiration. Because they believe that proximity to whiteness is a kind of status symbol. Right down to the outfits that we wear. If we don't wear designer, we have not worn enough of it. Anything that looks... And those people are now coming to take our own things, rebrand it, and we're still queuing up for it. There's something wrong with the mind. And it needs to be fixed. So that's the places where I'm going to start from. I'm not going to start from maths and English. No. I know that literacy is important. I know that numeracy is important. They have the foundations, yes. But if we don't get the mind right, if the teacher in the classroom is sitting there and doesn't know why they're there, and they just think all I have to do is get through the scheme of work. No, that is not why you're there. You'll be able to spot every child and know the potential that they have. I might have said it somewhere in one of these podcasts. Parents complaining that their children, they gave them an award for being critical thinkers, problem solvers, and being inquisitive. And I'm thinking you should be so happy that the school spotted something like that in your child. Wow. You should. Because a lot of the people that are on the global stage today, they are not just there by merit of academics alone. A lot of them are there by merit of a lot of the things that they're able to do.
So hot takes for you. Mathematics or literature?
Let me calm down.
No time to think.
I'm not even thinking. I'm just calming down.
So mathematics or literature?
Literature for me. I did literature. I love literature.
Degree or skills?
Skills.
British curriculum or Nigerian curriculum?
Updated Nigerian curriculum.
Discipline or creativity?
Creativity.
Exams or portfolios?
Portfolios.
Talent or hard work?
Talent.
IQ or EQ?
EQ. EQ.
Double teacher salary or half size of a class?
Both.
One excellent teacher or beautiful school building?
One excellent teacher.
Amazing.
Amazing.
I think you are such a phenomenal teacher.
I think you are as well.
Listening to you, I just hope a lot of school leaders, founders, every stakeholder in education, parent, government, I really hope that they get to listen to this podcast. I think that what this has done, one take home from me is the mindset of the students, of the teachers, and all the proprietors of education. I think it's really important. I think that the part of history is very important. What kind of history, what heritage are we giving to the children? Is it so much about the white? Must it be white to be right? And if they have not traveled abroad, does that mean they are not going to be successful? Are we training our children, our students for foreign economy? Have we totally lost hope in African descent, as the case may be? I think this is a food for thought for every one of us in this particular episode. And I want to say thank you, Ronke Posh, for just gracing this and for doing that. At a point, you were really shouting. I wanted to tell them to put the podcast down, to say, your face was very strong.
I was in the spirit.
That's to show how passionate you are for the transformation of education in Nigeria, and she truly carries that in her heart, and you wear it so well. I want to say thank you very much. Till we'll see you again in the next episode. Please have a good time. Write us, send us messages. We are willing to read your messages. We're going to respond. And don't forget, Ronke Posh has a very powerful song. It's going to be played after this podcast to close. It's a beautiful song that your students, your children, your teachers should learn and also be part of. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you. Bye.